I had to get that out of my system. I feel better now.
Okay, tubers, you gotta apologize for that. I'm out here on the range and some asshat is just shooting who knows where. I don't know what's going on here. Just kidding. Yeah, the contingency plan's trying out a new grip and actually looks really nice, so we'll see. Okay, Jackhammer Mike is gonna do fire by friction.
Oh. Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Using a hand drill. I've got to make a hearth, which the contingency plan was nice enough to bring back some firewood. I think this is going to make a really nice little piece. This is for batoning. Driving my knife through here so I can make my hearth. This is a bow drill. Well, this is just a piece of a yucca that I got. I've had this for a while. I've used it a few times. And it's a great little stick to start a fire. I'll show you here in a minute how I do it. I know a lot of guys take these big long sticks that are freaking 4 feet tall and they do this bullshit and work their way down and use their hands to push down on it and they get blisters and all kinds of crap. Some people will use a bow drill. Forget that. Because you got to have, not only you have to make the drill, but you got to have the cord. So take your bootlace and of course use your bootlace. It'll get hot, it'll melt, it'll come apart, it'll break, and you don't have a bootlace or anything, you don't have a drill. Plus you got to find a block for the top of it, a rock, or you got to make a piece of wood to fit that. Forget it. I'll show you a simple way that I do it. But in the meantime, we got to make a hearth before we can do anything.
And by the way, it's still pretty damn hot out.
Apparently it says it's 107. But I got a little over an hour. I got more than that, but I've got a little over an hour of daylight before the sun goes over a hill here. And I'm in the shade of this bush a little bit, so it's not bad. I guess I'm getting used to it. I was climbing in an attic yesterday and it was 150 degrees up there, according to the air conditioning tech that was sweating his balls off up there with me. So, you know, I guess I'm used to it. I don't know. It feels better than it did earlier. All right, so I'm going to make a hearth. Get right back to you. Using the old trusty K-bar. I don't have it on my side. I just don't want to fucking take my gun off and then put this on and then just undo it. No, fuck it. Just leave it. So, K-bar. Can't beat it. So let's baton some wood. Dang, that's a hard piece of wood right there.
That's what she said.
That wind? Good little pieces of kindling. Small little stuff. Might want to split a little bit. I've got to find some good kindling too for it. Watch that fucking cigarette catch that thing on fire. It's almost there. I make do. A little thicker than I'd like it to be, because it makes cutting the notch a little more difficult. That fits in there pretty good. I think we can make that work. But the thicker it is, the harder it is to make a notch in it. And you got to have the notch in order for it to collect the embers. But I think we can make that work. All right, what I'm doing, I make this into a little bit more of a point. It was a little blunt, which blunt is fine, but if you put it into a little more of a point, then you can get that hole started. You got to get that hole started in order for it to get in there and really get some friction going. So put a little point on it, get your hole started, and then cut your notch. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that, just a little bit of a point to get this hole going. Just kind of cut yourself out a little bit of a hole right there. Now, I'm going to show you the trick I use on this, and it's going to require a little bit of paracord. All right. Oh, that's red ants. You guys are gonna say, hey, dude, Jackhammer Mike, we can't have gloves out in the wild. Well, yeah, you can, and you should. It saves your hands from a lot of wear and tear. Your more dexterous things, you might want to take them off for a minute. I'm gonna do it while I tie this paracord. But gloves, definitely ought to have that in your bug out kit. Now I just got some scrap stuff, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the end here, just make an overhand knot, make a loop that you can get through your thumb, okay? No big deal. Then I'm going to take the other end, do the same thing. Overhand knot. Take your thing through. So you've got two pieces of paracord, or one piece of paracord, two knots on the end of it. All right. Now on your stick, on the end, you cut a knock like an arrow. Okay. You see the notch on that? You cut the notch. This might be too long. I don't know. Seems a little long. Cut your notch. That'll work. It's a little long, but it'll work. You see the point, what I'm making here? All right. So now what we're going to do is get our hole going. get that nice and, I don't know what you want to call it, seasoned. Gotta have that seasoned hole. Want to get her ready for fire. So just kind of work it a little bit. You can see I'm already starting to smoke. Already made some embers on it. You can already smell it. So now I've got my hole. I'm ready for my notch. Now, if you have a good survival kit, you're gonna have a multi-tool, which I do, but it's over yonder and I don't have it with me. But what I do have is I have the serrated type of K-Bar. I wasn't really hip on that idea at first, but it works all right. So what you're gonna wanna do is you wanna cut a notch to that hole. Okay, it doesn't have to be really, really big, but you wanna cut a notch, maybe 2 45-degree angles up to that hole so you can collect embers. So it's going to take a while. And yes, that's not the safest thing in the world, but I work with knives, saws, all kind of stuff that can hurt me. So actually, you know what? That does suck. I'm gonna go get my multi-tool. All right, this is the Gerber method. Same one that you saw in the John Wayne video. Can opener sucked, but the saw on here is pretty solid. And unfortunately, I can't get it out. My gloves on, so I gotta take my gloves off. But you know, the thing of it is out here in the sticks, especially in the heat, you cannot be in a hurry for things, okay? It's a small little saw, but it's a sharp ass little saw. It's gonna work really well. You can't be in a hurry out here, folks. Take your time and you know, try not to die. You know, it's just fucking hot out. And yeah, it looks like I smoke a lot. I do. But I'm also going in between shots and frames and cuts and things like that, so it might look like I'm like chain smoking, and sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I don't know. I don't want to hear about it. Shut up. In fact, I'm going to do something right now. I need my coffee. All right, so now this is the problem of having a thick stick. That's what she said. When you have cut your notch in, you have to, I mean, it takes a lot of work the thicker this is. But the thicker it is, I've found, the better it is sometimes when you want to make a friction by fire. Just take deliberate cuts, slow cuts. You'll get there. I wish I had a longer saw blade. But we'll do it like this. Just because if you didn't have a saw, I'm gonna have sawdust all over me. If you didn't have a saw, you would have to be using your multi-tool to do this. You know, it just takes time and effort, a little bit of sweat. It only takes a few minutes to get that notch going there. We're almost there. And see, when you pre-do it, you can see where you need to get your notch to get to. I got to cut in just to that little tiny bit of that charred area right there. And once I get into that, then my ambers are going to fall into this groove and then onto my platform and get you fired by friction. I'm excited. Yeah, I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm really looking forward to doing this. Ah, that felt good. All right, I think we got her. That's gonna work. Okay, so let me go grab some dead grass and stuff. So I gotta make a bird's nest, and be right back with you. All right, so you're gonna want to make your little bird's nest, all your dry grasses and stuff. Just clump it together, kind of poke a little hole in the center of it, push it down. Get your block or your hearth, your drill, your paracord, your coffee. Try not to spill it. And then one other important thing you're going to need is you need something to collect the embers on. Okay? I'd like something a little bigger. That's what she said. However, this ought to do okay. The little pile of embers is just going to go right in here. And it'll be fine. So what we're gonna do, take hearth, set it right on top of that, so all the embers can collect there. I'll do this barehanded, so you know I'm not cheating. We have a creeper in the background, but don't worry about it. He's harmless. Two pieces of paracord, get wind picking up a little bit. Should be able to get a pile of embers going there. And here we go. Rock and roll, Ayatollah. Hey, you just want to keep going, pushing down on your paracord. You can already still smell it smoking. You get a nice pile of embers going there. Once it starts smoking on its own, you can just leave it alone, dump it in your nest. We'll get a little more in there. Nope, not yet. I think this is too long, quite honestly.
That's what she said.
So let's adjust. Cooking. There. I like that a little better. The always amazing Kershaw Blur Ken Onion design. Fantastic little knife. Super sharp. I wish I could stab these flies in the face. All right, that's more like it. Not going to be good enough, folks. The notch, not quite deep enough yet. So, just little things you find out as you practice this. I'd do it a little bit at home, if I could. If you're just learning how to do this, you can practice this at home. But, yeah, the embers, they're not quite getting there yet. They're not forming into a little pile, so my notch is not proper. There we go. That might help it a little bit. And see, that's why you wear gloves, okay? You don't feel it till it's too late. Now I got a blister to contend with. Good thing I brought some stuff. So I'm gonna put the gloves back on and do it that way I'm used to. I have girl hands. I use gloves all day at work to keep from having shit like that happen. The notch on this stick is not that deep, so make it a little deeper. Blister fucking kills. You can smell it, my arm's getting tired. Fucker. right, no go for now. Arms are getting tired. Look at that shit. Yeah. It happens. So you give yourself a few minutes, recuperate. Of course, I'm sitting out in 107-degree heat. Hot. I think my point's not sharp enough either. So, we'll redo it. We'll get fire going. I'm gonna edit all this out. You'll never see any of this. Ha!